Hi, everyone. I'm just, letting you know that I'm still kind of in shock with my cat Mittens passing, and it's just very sad. I'd say more, but I guess those that love, that have pets that have passed on, you kind of know the feeling. But I do want to, I have to keep busy. So I wanted to do this next tier list. It's for 70s TV shows. And these are just the ones that I watched or knew of. Maybe I didn't watch much of certain shows because I didn't like what I was seeing. And I think I got most of them. There's almost 60 TV shows. And so S is superior, the very best. Then A, B, C, and D. There's no E. I don't think any of these, well, maybe one or two, or would be an E. And before I start the tier list, just larger size to see all of the TV shows that I'm going to be ranking. So no particular order. Adam 12. All in the Family. Barney Miller. Bonanza. Some of these shows started in the 60s but continued in the 70s. Columbo. Different Strokes. The Dukes of Hazzard. 8 is Enough. Get Smart, which started in the 60s. Good Times. Happy Days. I Dream of Jeannie. I know you can read. I'm just Laverne and Shirley. Maud. Monty Python's Flying Circus. Mork and Mindy. M.A.S.H. One Day at a Time. Sanford and Son. Saturday Night Live. Sesame Street. Starsky and Hutch. The Beverly Hillbillies, which started in the 60s, of course. The Bob Newhart Show. The Brady Bunch. The Carol Burnett Show. The Facts of Life. The Incredible Hulk. That's me. The Jeffersons. The Love Boat. The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Glenn Kellaway from the Basement's favorite show. The Mod Squad. The Muppet Show. The Partridge Family. The Rockford Files. The $6 Million Man. Three's Company. Welcome Back, Kotter. WKRP in Cincinnati. Taxi. Charlie's Angels. Wonder Woman. Another one of Glenn Kellaway's favorite shows. Battlestar Galactica, but he's never told his wife Lynn. The Odd Couple. Little House on the Prairie. Fantasy Island. Z-Plane, boss. Z-Plane. Fernwood Tonight, or also America Tonight, it was renamed. Beretta with Robert Blake. Don Kirshner's Rock Concert. We're almost done here. Donnie and Marie TV show. Hee Haw. Hogan's Heroes, which started in the 60s. Flip Wilson Show. The Midnight Special. And a couple more. The Sonny and Cher Show. The Waltons, and one more. Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. So as you can see, there's quite a few TV shows. So Adam 12, that was an okay show. I didn't watch it a lot, but when I did, it was one of those typical police shows in the 70s. It was okay. I'd put it in C. All in the Family, I loved the early years of the show, and then it got when I don't know, when Archie Bunker got to be a little too sweet and they adopted some girl or something, it kind of just wasn't the same. But I'm going to rate it on the early years. It was a classic. It could almost be S tier, but I'll put it in A. Barney Miller, I'm going to put in D, not because it's a bad show, but I never just had any interest in what, I would see a little bit of it, but I wouldn't be interested in it. Bonanza, I think I don't know what I rated it for the 60s tier list, but I didn't watch too much of it, but it was a good show. Put it in B. Columbo is a classic. That's S tier. Because Columbo, when he's doing his detective work and he's done questioning whoever it is and he starts to walk away, he's going to turn around and just one more question. So that was an excellent show. Different Strokes. It was funny, but I never really... A lot of these situation comedies, I just, I'd rather listen to music. So just for me, I'm going to put it in C, ahead of Adam 12. Same with the Dukes of Hazzard. It was a bit too cornball and stupid, even though I like stupid comedy, but not that one. I'll put it. So when I go to the bottom, my least favorite, it's hard to explain, but S tier, the ones on the far left are my favorites. When it goes down to the bottom level, my least favorite is on the left. So I would put the Dukes of Hazzard at the start of C. 8 is Enough, another corny kind of a show. It was all right, but didn't watch it very much. Get Smart is S tier. Very funny. Good Times is, it was nice to see some black families finally, like in the 70s especially. And I enjoyed some of the shows. And Good Times was great. I'll put that in A. Happy Days, kind of similar to All in the Family. The early seasons were my favorite, especially the first season. And when it got to be more Fonzie related and then Chachi and whoever, it just got really bad for me. But I'm going to just rate it on my memories of watching the good the good seasons. I'm going to put that. For the early years, I would put that in S tier. I Dream of Jeannie was good. I'll put that in B. I didn't mind that. Laverne and Shirley. I loved Lenny and Squiggy. I thought they were hilarious. Laverne and Shirley, not as much. But there were some fun episodes. I'll put that in B. Maud. I like the idea of the character being not that lovable, kind of like Archie Bunker, which is what she started her character on, All in the Family. But still, I didn't watch it very much, so I'll put that in C at the end of C because it's a decent show. Monty Python's Flying Circus is S tier. Not every one of the episodes worked, but the ones that did were hilarious. So I'll put that just before Get Smart. Mork and Mindy, of course, Robin Williams was a talented comedian, but I just never thought the show itself was that funny. I'm going to put that in D. I'm sorry. M.A.S.H. Once again, I prefer the early years. And when Frank Burns was one of my, a lot of great characters on the show, but Frank Burns was probably my favorite. And when he left, it wasn't quite as funny. But overall, because of those early seasons, it's got to be S tier. Right there. One Day at a Time, I never liked. Nope. Sanford and Son was good. It was pretty funny. I'll put that in B, ahead of, I'll put it at the start of B. Saturday Night Live in the 70s. It was pretty good. The early years. I will put that in A. Yeah, at the start of A. Sesame Street. You know, I had nephews and nieces that I would babysit, so I'd be watching the show with them, and I thought it was really well done. It's got to be S tier for Sesame Street. Starsky and Hutch, I liked for a police detective show. I'll put that in B. Right around there. The Bob Newhart Show. I know it's a classic. I just never, I saw a little bit of it, but it just didn't. I just didn't find it that funny. I'm going to put it in D. But at the end of D, it's not that bad. The Beverly Hillbillies, of course, started in the 60s. It was corny, it was stupid, it was funny. Not always, but it was pretty good. I'm going to put it in A. Right there. The Facts of Life, I hated. I'm going to put it at the start. Yeah. The Carol Burnett Show was excellent. That's got to be S tier. I think maybe in my previous 60s, I might have put that in A, but ahead of Sesame Street. I think it was even more consistent than Monty Python, so right there. The Incredible Hulk, I never watched. Thought it was stupid. The Love Boat, I sometimes watched. It was okay. I'll put that in C. I Like It More Than Eight Is Enough. And The Addams Family. And yeah, I'll put it at the start of C. It was okay. The Jeffersons was excellent, almost S tier. I'll put it in A. Of course, the Jeffersons started on All in the Family. I'm going to put it just ahead of, I don't know, Good Times and the Jeffersons. They're kind of equal. I'll just leave it there. The Brady Bunch. Once again, the last couple of seasons were pretty corny with that cousin that they adopted or something. But the early seasons is S tier. I watched that a lot. Just before M.A.S.H. Mary Tyler Moore's show, I know would be S tier for most people. And I liked it. I'll put it in B, at the start of B. The Rockford Files, I never really watched. So I'll put it in the middle of D. The Muppet Show, once again, is S tier. Ahead of Sesame Street, I think. The Partridge Family. Yeah, even back in the early 70s, I wasn't much of a fan of the show. I'll put it in C. Ahead of Dukes of Hazzard. Anybody still watching? Welcome Back, Kotter, I disliked with a passion. I'll put it there. The Mod Squad was okay. I'll put it in C. Ahead of Dukes of Hazzard. Three's Company, I never liked. John Ritter, of course, a great comedy talent, and even Don Knotts, I didn't even find him funny, and I love Don Knotts as, of course, Barney Fife and Andy Griffith. So Three's Company I'll put in C. Right there. Taxi, another show I never really cared for. I'll put it in C. Although I love Andy Kaufman. Yeah, right. Just before Three's Company. WKRP in Cincinnati, you think because it's a radio station and they play music and they're disc jockeys that I would be into the show, but I didn't care for it. I'm sorry. D. Wonder Woman I never watched. Glenn Kellaway's favorite show. I'll put it in the middle of D. Like I saw maybe a show or two or part of a show, but just never interested me. The $6 Million Man, that was okay. Just before, I like Adam 12 a bit more. Beretta was awesome. Yeah, I'm going to put that. It's S tier with Robert Blake. Right there. Battlestar Galactica. I enjoyed Star Trek, the original series, but I never got into Battlestar Galactica. But I like it more than Welcome Back, Kotter. Hee Haw. It just made country music look so corny, and I mean, like Roy Clark, the great Roy Clark, what a guitarist, Buck Owens. But the show itself was just so hokey. I hated it. Right there. Charlie's Angels. Just not my cup of tea, man. There's S tier. I know sometimes it's missing when I'm doing these videos. Okay. Charlie's Angels. Yeah, never watched it. No interest in it. Similar to Wonder Woman. Fantasy Island I never watched. Like I said, I know what it's about and I would see an episode or two, but just no interest in it. Don't get me mad. around there. Fernwood Tonight, also known as America Tonight, with Martin Mull and Happy Kine and the Mirth Makers. It was a parody TV show, and Fred Willard. S tier. Look where it's going. It's going to the front of S tier. I don't know if it's going to have any other challengers. Little House on the Prairie was excellent. I'm going to cry. You know what? I'm going to put it in S tier. It was a really well-made show. Just before the Brady Bunch. The Odd Couple, I never really cared for. I'll put it in C. About there. The Donnie and Marie Show. Seriously, Donnie and Marie, they're very talented. I have, a new respect for them and the Osmonds. But back in the 70s, I couldn't stand the show. Too sugary sweet. I'm a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll. Get out of town. I like it more than Welcome Back, Kotter, though. The Midnight Special. I prefer the early years when it was live, and then later on in the seasons, sometimes they were lip syncing. And of course, the Midnight Special is where I first saw Sparks 50 years ago. So I'm going to put it in, I won't put it in S tier because I didn't like every show, but it was still damn good. Just before Saturday Night Live. Don Kirshner's rock concert, the same as Midnight Special. Sparks were on that, and Black Oak, Arkansas, Black Sabbath, I believe. It was great to see some live acts on TV. Hogan's Heroes, really silly premise, of course, but I have great memories of watching it with my dad. It's S tier. It was really, really well done and funny. I'm going to put it just before Get Smart. 4 to go. The Flip Wilson Show. He was a very talented, funny guy. He was entertaining. I'll put that in B. Just before Starsky and Hutch. The Sonny and Cher Show. Cher. Sonny, very talented. They could be funny, and it wasn't that bad of a variety show. I'll put it in B. Just ahead of Flip Wilson. Okay, Mary Hartman. It was kind of similar to Fernwood Tonight. It was like, but this was a parody of a soap opera. And at first I loved it, and then it just got very tiring pretty quickly. But it was very unique and beyond strange. I'm going to put it in B. Ahead of Starsky and Hutch. And the Waltons. Great series. S tier. I like it more than Little House on the Prairie, but maybe not as much as the Brady Bunch. So just before Little House on the Prairie. So that's it. That's my S tier ranking. 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 14 shows in the S tier. 7 in A. 9 in B. 12 in C, and 3 is 6, 12, 15 in D. Yeah. I would love your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.